Hi, my name's Barbara Garner. I have been putting off blogging my saga for 4 long years. I've written about it, and too many people have asked me to blog it so they can see what's going on, so I can explain to them and find out if there are other people suffering at the hands of absurd attorneys and judges and corruption in the courts and fighting in divorce or any other cases. Uh, I did not want a divorce, but it's been the best thing for me, I know. And I did not want to go to use attorneys, neither did my ex. But for 2 years after mediation, he got an attorney and refused to agree to file what we agreed to. It's called an MSA, Marital Settlement Agreement. Covered up every issue that we needed to cover, essentially, except for money that I thought he owed me, money he thinks I owe him, and the house in which I was living. I was paying for the house. Some of the time half of the mortgage, which is what the law is, but most of the time $6,800 a month, because my ex-husband was taking my oil well revenues and paying out of my revenues the full amount of the highest interest payment. He also withheld my oil well revenues to the tune of over $200,000. The court has not heard that issue yet. Finally, in April of this past year, a year and a half after we came to an agreement with that settlement agreement, the judge ordered that the agreement be put into an order. My husband's attorney rescinded that agreement and said it was fraudulent and that he was under coercion to sign it. The very agreement that she said was fraudulent, he was coerced, is now a court order. However, I was kicked out of my house a year and a half ago and continued paying 100% of the payment. Nobody was allowed to live in it this whole time. It's gone completely to pot. I wasn't allowed to do anything there. My ex-husband didn't take care of it. It's a mess. The court, after 5 judges in Santa Barbara, South County, I got a Judge Staffel in Santa Maria. The reasons for losing all the judges are absurd, but the first one died, and he's the one that made the worst decision of all, Judge McLafferty, by ordering my ex and I off the title of our home, which put him in default of the loan, but didn't matter. As long as you paid a loan, they're not going to call a loan these days, and that's fine. But it was wrong, and the court refused to give me a hearing on the financial issues. I was never able to qualify for a loan on my own, even though I was able to make the payments, because my ex-husband screwed up taxes for 3 years. I'm alleging that. And he withheld so much of my oil revenues, so I was unable to show a bank or a lender or even a hard loan person what my true financial status was. I have asked the court for a hearing on these matters so that I can have an equal opportunity to get lending for my home, and the court has refused a hearing on these until the trial of the divorce, which is now slated for January. It's been put off several times. But the judge just wanted to take care of the house situation prior to listening to the financial situation, thus screwing me over. It's my only source of income to be used as a vacation rental or to have exchange students. I am disabled with fibromyalgia. My health has declined rapidly, especially in the court in this last year because of the continued motions filed by my ex-husband. Of course, then I have to get an attorney, and I finally got an attorney, and I've had, 2 attorneys on the divorce, or 3, but one dropped me when I switched to North County because I don't practice in North County. It's been an absolute zoo, and it's been a tangled nightmare, a waste of time, and a god-awful waste of money, and a waste of my health. I'm now diagnosed with legal abuse syndrome, LAS. You can look that up online in a book written by Karen Huffner in Las Vegas, a woman who went through her own battles in the court over a real estate problem and ended up getting cancer and beating it, and now dedicating her life to being an advocate for disabled people in the justice system. I am working on the same thing, but my health is not there yet. I used to be a drama and music teacher, so if you see me referred to anywhere as Queen Barb, it's because I'm the drama queen teacher. So now this court has also violated my Americans with Disabilities rights by refusing to give me accommodations that I asked for or continuances. If the court refuses to do those things, they have to check a box, denied, and then they must give an explanation as to why it was denied, in writing. That's the law. That has not been done in my case. It was only done by one judge, Judge Anderley, who ended up recusing himself from this case because there was a conflict of interest. So I am now in a position of not having any source of income, so I can be free of my husband's spousal support. And the oil well will not flow forever. We own an oil well, and it's good money, but it will run dry. And I'm 51, and the money that I've spent on this divorce and my ex has spent on this divorce, I could have lived on for the rest of my life. It's absurd what the courts will allow people to do. And attorneys dragging it out, bulging their pockets. That's all they do. This current attorney I have, who shall right now remain unnamed, has dropped the ball on several things. It doesn't do paperwork he'd say to do, doesn't show me mailings, doesn't tell me there's a motion. There was an emergency motion the other day at 8:30 in the morning from my husband's attorney in Santa Maria, but at 10 o'clock there was a deposition in Santa Barbara, and the day before there was a deposition in Santa Barbara. I cannot bilocate, although some have called me silly. Also, I was told by this judge that we will have no activities in the morning. My case can be in the afternoon. And I asked for those activities, the depositions, everything to be in the afternoon because I have sleep disorders and my mornings are a fog. Well, they violated that also. That's my story. That's just bits and pieces of it. I know it sounds tangled, but I want to hear your story too. And I'd love if you post responses or comments and to share your stories. And my one word of advice is don't go to court. Please try to stay out of court. It has ruined my life and my health. I have been suicidal. I've had to take different medications for my fibromyalgia because the pain has increased and the cognitive fog, it's called fibrofog, has increased. It's all because of stress. So really, please stay tuned, and I hope that I'll have some happier posts in the future, but I'm really trying to inform people as to what's going on. So now I'm sitting in my little tiny cottage. Thank God I have a roof over my head. I'm not trying to be ungrateful, but I'm trying to be equitable. My husband now owns 2 large homes in Santa Barbara, and I can't possibly qualify for one until this whole thing is over. And I lost my home by the beach, my beautiful big white house, and my son is making a documentary about where the neighborhood grew up and where I wanted to raise my grandchildren who are yet to come. Thank you for listening.